Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, today agreed to rename Talanta Stadium to Raila Odinga International Stadium. There's one thing I keep on repeating on this platform, and I will never tire from repeating it, that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. There is no way William Ruto can just agree to rename Talanta Stadium, which is one of his flagship projects, to Raila Odinga International Stadium. The truth of the matter is that there is an objective which he wants to achieve. William Ruto wants to make it very, very difficult for Raila Odinga supporters to support him. Earlier today, Sakaja made this request to the president, and I think the president read the mood of the people who attended that function, and also the response and the reaction from Kenyans online. This is how Sakaja made the request.
Tunajua kwamba mwaka ujao sherehe hii itafanywa katika uwanja mpya wa Talanta ambayo unaendelea kule Lang'ata Road. Sijui kama utatukubali. Na sisi kama watu wa Nairobi tunakuomba uwanja huo uite Raila Odinga International Stadium ili kumkumbuka baba wetu ambaye alituacha. Au sio? Tunakubalia watu wa Nairobi? Tunakubalia. Rais, umeona sauti ya wananchi, na sauti ya wananchi ni sauti ya Mungu. Wanasema nirudie. Tunaomba rais wetu mpendwa William Samoei Arap Ruto ya kwamba mwaka ujao sherehe hii ifanyike katika Talanta Stadium, na kama watu wa Nairobi tunakuomba uipe jina Raila Odinga International Stadium. Sauti ya mwananchi ni sauti ya Mungu.
And then President Ruto agreed to that request. In this video, I want us to analyze the political objectives which William Ruto wanted to achieve by agreeing to rename Talanta to Raila Odinga International Stadium. But first of all, let us listen in to the president agreeing. I want you to study his body language and how he was reacting to the crowd.
Tunakamilisha ile kiwanja ya Talanta pale Jamhuri. Munajua kazi kubwa ambayo imefanyika pale. Kweli ama si kweli? Na nimesikia yale gavana wa Nairobi amesema ya kwamba ile uwanja wa Talanta ipatiwe jina gani? Ati mumesema ipatiwe jina gani? Mumesema ipatiwe jina la Raila Amolo Odinga International Stadium. Nimewasikiza na tukikamilisha tutafanya hivyo.
That's President William Samoei Arap Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, before I reveal to you guys the objectives which he wanted to achieve, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the league gang, please, I want you to come through for this video. You know how we normally do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the first request which was made to William Ruto to rename Talanta Stadium to Raila Odinga Stadium was made on the day Raila Odinga was being buried. And the request was made by none other than Gladys Wanga, who is the ODM chairperson and also the Homa Bay governor.
We only ask you for one more honor. Ile stadium yetu ambayo inakuja kubwa sana, 60,000 capacity, tunaita kwa kizungu magnificent. Tunaomba kama chama hiyo ikuwe na jina Raila Odinga Talanta Stadium Nairobi.
Ati mumesema ipatiwe jina gani?
Raila Odinga Talanta Stadium Nairobi.
Mumesema ipatiwe jina la Raila Amolo Odinga International Stadium.
The president did not respond there. Why do you think he chose to respond today? For me, the reason why William Ruto has agreed to rename Talanta to Raila Odinga International Stadium are as follows. Number one, the 2027 politics. The Talanta Stadium is supposed to be launched next year. And a day like this next year, similar event will take place there. That's the day the president will formally rename the stadium. By that time, you can predict the political temperature in the Republic of Kenya already. So Ruto is doing this for 2027 politics. Remember, the mountain which voted for William Ruto have already dumped him, although nowadays I've started questioning that. And Ruto is banking his re-election on the ODM support base. Okay, let's not put it as ODM support base. Ruto is banking his re-election on those people who have always supported Raila Odinga. Sakaja too is banking on Raila Odinga support base or supporters to win his re-election. So the renaming and the request to rename this stadium is all about politics. That's why after the president agreed to rename it, Gladys Wanga went to her social media pages and retrieved the video where he made the request during the burial of Raila Amolo Odinga. And for me, William Ruto is scoring, and is scoring big. There's something which William Ruto is doing. William Ruto is actually making it very, very difficult for Raila Odinga supporters to refuse to support him. He began that long time ago, even before Raila Odinga died, and is continuing with it. Number two, William Ruto is keenly trying to win the support of the Luo Nation. Because let's face it, the Luo Nation and the Kikuyu Nation are probably the most politically active tribes in Kenya. That's the fact. And in 2027, William Ruto and his re-election will depend on how the mountain will vote and how the lake will vote. Let's assume the mountain will vote for Kalonzo and the lake also votes for Kalonzo. Do you think William Ruto will have a chance? He won't. So William Ruto understands that fact. And there's no way he was going to allow the mountain and the Luos, or the lake for that matter, to speak the same language. So he's trying so hard to win the support of the Luos. Remember, even Sakaja is running again to defend his seat. He's also banking on the support of Raila Odinga supporters. Not only that, on the Luo support because of their population in Nairobi. And you know, there's something about the Luos. They get excited. And William Ruto understands this. When Raila Odinga passed on, he accorded Raila Odinga state burial. I can assure you that alone is enough to make the Luo Nation vote for William Ruto. Because they feel that William Ruto honored one of their foremost sons. And now William Ruto is coming up and renaming Talanta Stadium, which is going to be the biggest stadium in Kenya, to Raila Odinga International Stadium. So the Luo Nation will be excited, or are actually excited as we speak, about that move by the president. And as a result of that, they can easily now be triggered to vote for Ruto because they know they supported Uhuru they're now supporting Ruto. But Ruto understands their psychology more than Uhuru did. Number 3, why Ruto is doing this, and I think it's very good for him politically, but I'm not so sure whether he will be able to sustain it. When Raila Odinga passed on, his supporters were really hurt emotionally. They cried, they pained. Up to now, when my friend, just the other day, I listened to Festus Amimo's mom, where she was narrating how when Raila Odinga passed on, she really cried to an extent that the villagers came thinking that someone had died in their home. So many people were affected emotionally. So I think Ruto is trying to sustain that emotional feeling amongst Raila Odinga supporters by bringing in the Raila Odinga International Stadium. Once that's done, probably he will come up with maybe another university will be renamed Raila Odinga. And if he can sustain it, I'm not so sure whether he can sustain it, but the idea is to try and sustain it, so that by the time Kenyans will be going for election, that emotional attachment of Raila and Ruto will still be there. And lastly, I think it's about Nairobi politics. Ruto understands one thing. There's no way you can become the president of the Republic of Kenya without the support of Nairobi. No way. In 2022, William Ruto became the president because he had the support of Nairobi. Raila Odinga had more, but it was almost 50-50. You couldn't say that Ruto did not have support in Nairobi, because if anything, I think he had even more MCS in Nairobi through UDA. The fact that the mountain has left created a serious political vacuum and headache for Ruto in Nairobi. Now he's targeting Raila Odinga supporters to deal with the Nairobi politics. Because let's just assume that we have the Kikuyu nation and the lake together, all of them, and then they decided to protest against William Ruto. There's one thing someone told me, someone very senior, that during the Gen Z protest, just after Raila Odinga had intervened, if the Luo nation had fully joined, because the mountain had managed to come all the way from Thika Road, those Kiambu Road, all the way, and they were headed for State House. The Luo nation did not really support, because Raila Odinga had told them, So assuming we go for an election and the mountain and the lake are together, William Ruto understands what that means for him politically. Without the control of Nairobi, done. I don't know what you think, but for me, that's a serious political move by the president. Whether Raila Odinga supporters will be persuaded to support him because of that is something which I can't tell. We will leave that to time to tell us. Until next time, this is Lima Queen. Bye-bye.